for a significant number, and it tends to be people over 50, we're still kind of old school. We're drinking more, younger people are drinking less. How much is too much? And you might not want to say it out loud, but what can you do if you just have got into that habit of having a glass of wine every single night? Joining me now, Sandra Parker. She's got a brilliant website. She's the founder of Just the Tonic. Have a look at Just the Tonic if you're concerned about any of those things. Sandra Parker joins me now. Sandra, thank you so much for joining me. As you can hear, I saw Just the Tonic. I've had a good look at it. Wow, it's brilliant. And for people who think I'm not an alcoholic, there are ranges of when alcohol becomes too much alcohol, isn't there? It's not just sober or alcoholic. There's a whole range. I'm interested in how you got involved in all of this yourself.
Sure. So thank you for having me. So I'm of that certain age where I knew that I wasn't in control of alcohol. But I also knew that I didn't identify as an alcoholic, and something like AA didn't appeal to me for a number of reasons. Mm-hmm. So I found I had a couple of life coaches. I'd done a lot of work, and I got to the point where I realised what I was numbing out from, and I was planning to drink less. That was always my goal. Ended up having to admit to myself I was happier not drinking, and then I wanted to share it with other people. And then the pandemic hit, and one thing led to another. I realised there was a demand. There was lots of other men and women like me. And so I set up my company, Just a Tonic.
It's a brilliant, brilliant website. But how do you've one of the things, I looked at some of the things, how do you motivate yourself to drinking so much? Because I'm guessing most people listening would be that looking at the clock, oh, it's 6 o'clock, and a glass of wine or spirits or whatever is as normal to them as, I don't know, having a glass of water. I know I'm certainly one of those people, and it becomes part and parcel of your life. And you know it's having an effect on you, weight-wise, mood-wise, sleep-wise, all of those things. How do you break that habit?
So I think the first thing is that you have to be honest with yourself, right? So for me, it's like, if you know you're drinking more than you want to, you can find loads of reasons to justify it. You know, you can listen to like lots of the advertising on TV and everywhere else, and you can say it's fine. But if you know yourself it's a problem, the first thing I think is admitting it to yourself, and then being really honest about what impact it's having on your life. And also asking yourself whether you're drinking to enjoy it, or are you drinking, you know, we might say we're having a drink after work as a reward, but if it's not a glass of wine, if it's a bottle of wine, once we start becoming really clear to ourselves and we realise that we're drinking it because we want to numb out, we don't want to feel our emotions, and it feels like a bit of a clutch, so it feels like we're self-medicating, then, you know, we have to make a decision. Do we want to carry on this path, or do we want to do something about it? And I want to reach people before it gets to that chronic stage, you know, before the wheels come off. So, you know, you don't have to wait until you've hit rock bottom, but you can actually get it under control as soon as you realise it's a problem.
Now, Christmas coming up, and it's interesting. I mean, I've read numerous reports that younger people don't drink as much as that. I'm guessing it's our age group. But with Christmas coming up, it's a brilliant excuse, for want of a better word, to get stuck into the alcohol. What advice would you give people? I mean, I having read your blog and what you've got online, you know, buying non-alcoholic drinks and just not buying it, not having it, because that's how I beat any addiction to chocolate. Don't have it in the house. But for people coming up to Christmas and planning for Christmas, I'm guessing that starts before you even get to the supermarket, doesn't it? It's not having the booze in the cabinet there and then not drinking it and feeling left out. It's not even having it in the house.
Yes, I mean, I guess what I would say is, you know, the people that I work with, we work together for 6 weeks before I ask them to take a break. So in my experience, it's very difficult to say to people, you know, just don't drink. if you've been drinking habitually for a number of years. But there are certainly things you can do to reduce how much you drink. And it's good to work out, like with Christmas, the biggest myth of all by the alcohol companies is that we need to drink to enjoy Christmas. It's really about connecting with your family, having time off, like all the things that you can do. And the alcohol-free drinks, I do think make it a lot easier. One of the things that my clients find is that they want to have an adult drink. They don't want to go to a works night out or a bar or restaurant and order an orange juice. So if you can have like an adult drink, which is like an alcohol-free beer, or you can get an alcohol-free sparkling wine, you feel like you're part of the group. So, but I think it's important to just recognise a lot of the beliefs that we have about alcohol have been conditioned, and you can enjoy yourself without it, for sure.
And there are some really brilliant non-alcoholic drinks out there. Like I found a great non-alcoholic champagne, which is with orange juice. You wouldn't know the difference. But if you have got a problem, and I know you touch upon this, you just have to be honest with yourself. A lot of people can't be. They're not. I mean, until they see the empty wine bottle or only that much left in the wine bottle and get an absolute shock. And still they'll choose to forget about that until the next day. What are some of the signs, apart from lousy night's sleep? Well, what are some of the signs that whatever amount of alcohol you're drinking, it is affecting you?
Yeah, it's a great question. So maybe you are trying to hide it from other people in your family. There comes lots of things that sort of sneak up on you. So you could be, maybe you have an extra drink before your partner comes home. You might be blaming, if you're a woman, you could be blaming the menopause. You could say like, I'm not feeling as sharp the next day, but I think that's the menopause. You could be afraid of going to the doctor. There's lots of, like, maybe you feel less like exercising. The other thing that it can be quite sneaky is if you're a high-performing person, you're probably still able to get up and get on with your job and do a good job. But if you realise that you really need the alcohol at the end of the day and the thought of not having it feels really tough, then, that is a sign. Like, if you said to yourself, right, if I wasn't able to drink for the next 7 days, would that be really difficult? Would that feel awful? And if you start noticing the fear coming up, then that's a sign that alcohol's probably got a bit of a hold, and you should take steps to get your control back.
Thank you so much. And Just the Tonic, let's just remind people, Just the Tonic is the website. Justthetonic.coaching.com is the website. Brilliant suggestions on there. I really do commend you for your website, and I thank you for your time. Sandra Parker there, the founder of Just the Tonic, talking about what you can do to curb drinking patterns that got you worried, whether you come out and say it out loud or you just kind of know.